You're good.
Perfect. So I'll call the meeting to order now at 5:02. And the first thing up is there disclosure of any pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Any additions to the agenda? Anything anyone would like to bring up? Nope. Okay, so we don't have any delegations or presentations, and it doesn't look like we have to approve this agenda, so we'll head into the consent agenda. The first two items on the consent agenda have us looking at the draft minutes of the previous meeting and the rec master plan. So usually we don't talk about these. Go ahead, Denny.
We do need a mover and a seconder for additions to the agenda.
Thank y'all. So moved
For
by Mayor Mayhew. And I'll take that seconded by Kim. Okay, so for the consent agenda, was there anything anyone wanted to talk about, discuss, or bring up with regards to the previous minutes or the master plan? It was a big one, and we've talked a lot about it on council. Perfect. So I need a mover and a seconder for the consent agenda. And is Alex able to vote? I'm not sure if someone, no, I didn't think so. Darn, no. Otherwise I'd have you. So Mayor Mayhew and Kim, you guys are going to be busy tonight. All right, so Kim motioned that we move the consent agenda, and seconder? Alan? Thank you. All opposed? Seeing none, we will move forward to staff reports. So Director of Operations update. Doesn't look like we have Greg with us. If someone is subbing in for him, speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, we'll move on to Facilities and Rec Supervisor update.
Yeah, so I'll just speak on behalf of Greg quickly. I'm going to touch on a couple items later in the agenda, but yeah, he's not able to be with us tonight. So we can roll into the recreation update from my end, if that's all right, Krista?
Yes.
All right, so since we last met, we've had a number of different things happen, and I got a long list to talk about here. So we're currently in a transition from our summer operation into our fall winter operation. So kind of juggling a few different pins at this point, but obviously our pool is now closed. We got a few steps that we still need to take in order to winterize that. As long as we have that done before the ground freezes, we won't have any issues. Same goes for the splash pad. It's now closed. This year we did do something that is different from previous years. We extended the season with the pool as our splash pad runs off of our pool pumps and whatnot. We ran our splash pad later this year to provide an extended season. Due to cooler weather, we closed it at the end of September, close to the end of September. So we got almost another month out of the splash pad. We're into the last couple weeks of cutting grass, and days like today are tough on us with low temperature throughout the day, but hopefully it can dry up and we can get one or two more cuts in, put everything to bed nicely. We've just recently finished installing all of the Honor Our Sacrifice banners in Glencoe. This year there was a little bit of a delay to that project just with the downtown light post installation and having all of our ducks in a row with Gerbers and kind of seamlessly getting them up, but they are now up and looking really good. Flower baskets are all down now. It was a great program this year, and look forward to it next year. Our arena ice is installed, and so far so good. We haven't had any issues with our refrigeration plant or any of our ice, and the arena's being busy, so that's great. We do have a list of COVID protocols that we're following, and I'm going to get into that in 6H later into the agenda here. We're currently working on a project which is taking down all the old Heritage Trail signs and installing all of the new ones. We have 12 of the 21 signs already installed. Some of our sites need new installation of 4x4 posts. A lot of them have rotted out, or they've been knocked down by vehicles. Just an array of different reasons why there's posts that are not good enough to hold a sign up or non-existent at all. We're in the middle of installing some new paper product dispensers amongst our arena and town hall and the train station. All of our facilities. We're on a new program with Torque, and these will look really great amongst our facilities. Beyond that, I don't really have anything else to add.
Does anyone have any questions? Mayor Mayhew.
Thank you, Chair Cal. Alex, I just want to commend you on that. The banners that recently went up, the sacrifice banners. I noticed you had fewer light fixtures to put them on this year. So I presume you extended the program on to concession on the poles, and it looked like there were brand new brackets there, but they looked really good as well. Did you have to kind of shuffle the deck of cards a little bit when you did that?
Yeah, for sure. So we work closely with our partners that run the program, and lots of consultation before we came up with the new location. So not only on concession, but also on Appin Road, we have some flags.
Yep.
So yeah, we work closely with the group that kind of is in charge of that. And we made do with what we had, because we went from over 40 poles down to 20 new poles in the downtown core. So we had to kind of extend the program out, but I mean, there's lots of banners up, lots of exposure, and that's the main thing, right? So
very well balanced. I just commend you for it. It's really good thinking out of the box. It's good. Thank you, Councillor Cal.
So I had one comment or question with talking about the flower baskets and beautification downtown. There's been a lot of discussion on getting the public in on the say of what may or may not happen on the main street. And I understand that this is something coming from a budget perspective. And so I'm wondering if this committee would like to support a type of motion. Sometimes we do this in other committees where we as a committee support an idea or a motion or something that's going into the budget that would say we would like to see this in our community, or in our, I'll say, professional opinions, for lack of a better word, think that this would be a benefit with regards to facilities and recreation. Is there any thought or discussion about that? Go ahead, Kim. You are unmuting.
Yeah, the question, like, is the discussion around what should or could be done to replace all the trees that were taken out? That people are so devastated about the trees because Main Street looks awful. Is that what we're, questioning?
I think that's part of it, yeah. And I mean, in a supportive sort of, this is, the community would like to see something else. We understand how come it needed to happen, and we support that it did happen, but how can we support the project moving forward? Okay, well, if anyone would like to make an endorsement of that type of thing, let me know now. Otherwise, we'll move on to a update about Book King.
I think we should, I would definitely want to recommend that something be done, whether that's kind of falling into this committee having a role or advocacy for that. I would definitely be in favor. We need to do, something to, and I get it, 110% the trees had to come down, but we have to do something to, I don't know, whether it's appease people or really make it look nice. We want the downtown to be attractive. We want it to be an attractive place to come shop, eat, have a coffee. So, I mean, it is important to the community members. I'll admit it's not nearly as important to me as it is to those here, because I, heard so much concern over it, but.
I live on a farm, so I thought it looked lovely, and then other folks didn't. So I was like, oh, okay, clearly I'm wrong. So I can understand your perspective. But okay, with that in mind, then would you be willing to make that motion, Kim, to say that we endorse the idea of a project for the downtown in the budget? system. So it's not saying a specific one or how it goes about, but with budget considerations, it's my understanding, and Alex, please speak to this, that this will be one of the items being, or something considered in the budget, because I believe council did make a motion asking for it. And it's, the purpose of this would be to get the support of the rec committee saying, yes, this is something we'd like to see in our community.
So I can confirm that there will be something being proposed for 2022 budget to continue the downtown improvements. So what that is I mean, that's the next topic of conversation, I suppose. My internal discussions have spoke to the nature of potentially some flower like boxes, garden boxes. Now that the practical and functional part has been taken care of, so the overgrown trees removed and now the asphalt's being paved, it does leave a little bit of a void in terms of trees or bushes, like just greenery. So some of the internal discussions that I've had have revolved around garden boxes with flowers in it to bring some life and some color to the downtown core.
Perfect.
And I also get the necessity to maybe keep in mind, well, whatever plans are being made to beautify that, the more labor intensive the way that we choose to decorate, I guess, for a lack of a better term, can be pricey and it can cost. And if we're putting in a bunch of, flower beds, and then someone needs to maintain those flower beds, and then that becomes a struggle and an expense for the community as well.
You bet. So Alan, you had a comment.
I do, thank you. Alex, just from a historical perspective, these baskets for next year have to be ordered around January, evidently. And historically, the Glencoe Horticultural Association haven't always in the past been asked about what specimens and colors are best suited to the downtown. And they take into consideration the ease of maintenance and watering as well. Some species require more watering than others. So don't be afraid to reach out to David Bastian to get an opinion from the Hort Society. They'll do some research on it. And when they make those decisions or recommendations to you, Alex, they will take into consideration the ease of maintenance on those and the cost efficiency of it. I don't believe they were asked last year, but that was the only year that was missed. So if you bear that in mind, they'll give you some really good advice.
Perfect.
Yeah, certainly. I know the first step is to touch base with our supplier and let them know the number. And then into the new year, we talk about the design or how they're put together. So colors and type of flower and whatnot. So first step is, and that's right away here, is to call and order the specific number. But certainly sorry, Krista, certainly in my conversations with David Bastian in the summertime, it's something I will call upon him to put his input in.
And I know that Sang, who runs Red Berry and does flowery things, pardon my ignorance, I don't know what they're called, but she had mentioned the desire that if a solution was being considered, that it could be going out in the form of a request for proposal, in the sense of, this is the solution I would provide to the community at this price point, and this is what it would look like. So that perhaps maybe we're not spending our own brain power thinking of a solution, and we can take advantage of the expertise within our community. Okay, so with that in mind, Kim, would you be willing to make that motion that we as a rec committee would endorse the spending of Main Street beautification in the budget?
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, small human. And Alan, did you raise your hand to say you would second
you
it?
bet. Just a point of mover and a seconder. That'll be fine. There's only
Perfect.
Kim and I here, so just let you appoint them.
You'll take turns. Perfect. All right. So all opposed? Seeing none, we will move forward and get an update about Book King.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So Book King is coming along very nicely. We are at a point now where internally we have all of our facilities loaded. Excuse me. Ashley and I worked to get all of the November programming booked in there so that we can see it on our end. We can book facilities for residents through Booking by them calling us at the office or emailing a request into us. Currently, that's where we're at. We are ready to go with online booking, and our public site is live, but it's live, but it's not published yet, only because Global Payments has not implemented the online payment program. So we're just waiting for this last little key step, and that would be, it's in Global Payments' hands to get that part of it implemented. Once that's implemented, we are ready to go live, and people can request facilities online through their website, and they can also sign up for programming through the website.
Sounds like a lot of work has gone into this. Excellent. Okay, was there any other updates for that?
Oh, and Alex or Ashley, do you have anything to add to that? That's just kind of where we're at the moment. We're just waiting for Global Payments.
Okay, so summer programming review. Let's hear about it.
Awesome. Yeah. So in the summer, we offered yoga, fitness, Zumba, children's painting, tennis, children's fitness and sport, children's dance mix, and then chemistry kids. At the beginning, it was a bit of a slow start just because it's brand new having recreation programs in Southwest Middlesex. And also the awareness wasn't there. So we would get a lot of, oh, I didn't know this was happening, or I didn't know you guys offered rec programs. So I mean, a little bit of a slow start, and just with COVID as well and the uncertainties around that. But through word of mouth and increasing communications, we started having more and more regulars to programs. So even now, a lot of the people that were starting in August are regulars coming to our fitness programs. There's a lot of positive social media posts about programming from residents, and a lot of residents were resharing our program updates and posting a lot of really positive things on Just Ask Glencoe. So that was really great to see, and to see kind of some of their feedback as well. Programs were overall delayed just due to COVID-19 and kind of figuring out all the things that come with that. In terms of aquatics, we had a successful year with lots of positive feedback on social media as well. This year, we launched our aquatics guide and brochure that was frequently used by residents, so people seem to really enjoy that, especially for people that don't have access to social media or technology. It was really useful to have those tools for them to come to the pool and grab and take home with them. We also took in a lot of feedback regarding aquatics to try to improve and adjust aquatic programs, and I'm sure it'll be even better next year, which was great. That's my general summer update.
Excellent. Okay, so now it looks like we have the Enbridge sponsorship program to talk about.
Yeah, this one's quick. So Enbridge provided us with a grant that allowed us to have 2 outdoor movie nights. So we had one in September and then one in October. Due to all the rain we're getting, we had to kind of postpone and move the second one just because it was a lot of rain over 2 weeks. They were really successful and well attended. I think we had over 100 people to the first one and around 50 or 60 people to the second one. They're really well attended, and residents were really happy to have an event to go to and to be outside in a safe manner. Enbridge has also allowed us to use the rest of the grant money that they gave us for the outdoor movie nights to sponsor public skates and some recreation programs. So that's really great. So you'll see quite a few public skates that will be sponsored by Enbridge across the winter.
Perfect. That's really exciting. I'll have to put those on my calendar.
Yeah.
I don't skate, but the littles do. Wardsville Recreation Meeting and Plan for Wardsville Recreation.
Yeah, so Alex and I met with residents in Wardsville at the end of September just to discuss providing them with some more recreation programs to the community. Initially, we didn't provide any recreation programs in Wardsville just because all programs were outside due to COVID. And Littleton Park wasn't under review and we weren't able to use it. So there wasn't really a great outdoor space for us to run Southwest Middlesex rec programs. Since this meeting, we have started a children's program, a wellness and walking group, which is starting this week. And we're currently looking at running a photography program and some fitness programs as well in Wardsville. We are working really closely with the residents of Wardsville to ensure we are providing programs that fit all of their needs. And I've joined all their Wardsville Facebook groups and been posting within that to communicate with them, which is great. As an update, we had our first children's program in Wardsville last week, and it was really well attended. We had 9 kids come, which was great, and had some great social media posts, and many residents were saying they were going to come next week and they were sad they missed it. So I expect this week we'll have even more kids than 9, which will be great.
That's excellent. It's always nice when there's a lot of participation.
Yeah.
And it's great because it sounds like a lot of those programs are community led, so they're even lower cost, which is yay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so next we have our fall and winter programming update.
Yeah, so in terms of fall and winter, so we have some new instructors that are just starting. So we've just in the last 2 weeks started to add new programs and starting to kind of diversify our programs as well. So we have some new instructors, so 1 to start last week, and then we have 2 starting at the beginning of November. So they're going to be teaching more children's programming, older adult programming, and photography. I'm also currently trying to find an instructor to do some more art programming as well as cooking. So we currently have a few instructors that can teach cooking. We're just waiting on confirmation on both of those to begin their courses. I'm currently working on our recreation guides within the next month. That should be out, and it'll just include all of our facilities and all the programs currently offered throughout the year. Once there's more demand and more programming, it'll probably turn into more of a seasonal guide, but for now it might just be a yearly recreation guide with lots of information on our facilities, as well as our programming. So that would include our aquatics, skating, yoga, fitness, everything like that. There's also going to be a brochure that's coming out this week. So it'll be in the arena, the Eckford Community Center, and the Masonic Hall, as well as posted to the website. And it just includes all of our current fall, winter programming, pricing, some COVID updates, common questions we get, things like that. So again, it's accessible for people that don't have access to technology, that can just go to the arena and pick up the brochure. For October and November programming, we have started to increase, as I said, with the addition of the children's programming and the walking group in Wardsville. We've also started all of our skating programs as well. We have new programs that are coming up for Appin and Glencoe with those new instructors I was just talking about. We'll continue to advertise programs through our social media pages, the recreation page on the Southwest Middlesex website, as well as sharing all of those posts to Just Ask Wardsville and Just Ask Glencoe.
There's also a Melbourne group. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll try to join that one too. That's good to know. I'm trying to join all the groups, but there's always a few I miss. So in terms of ice-related programs, so we're offering 4 public skates a week, as well as an adult pickup hockey. That's $10 on Wednesdays, and a stick and puck program. And we're going to be adding another stick and puck program. So there's going to be 2 of those per week. As well, we're going to have a lot of sponsored skates over the weekend, or not over the weekend, over the winter, and are reaching out to sponsors to increase having more and more public skates sponsored. I've also been in contact with the high school to do kind of a partnership with them to offer more sport programming, just because it has really good space. You need a lot of space for sports programming. So I've been in talks with them about doing that as well. We're now moving from outdoor programming into indoor programming, especially with all this rain. You can't really have programs outside. So this means that participants and instructors must be fully vaccinated if they're 13 or older to participate, unless they have an exemption. So that kind of leads us into our next topic, but that's my update.
I just had a quick question about the quantity of ice we have rented. I know that last year Greg had said that last year's ice rental amounts were one of the highest we'd had in many years, and I'm wondering what we're at for this year and how it might compare.
Christy, would you mind sharing your wisdom on this, being the master of bookings?
I was just unmuting myself there. Yeah, Krista, at the very beginning, so late August, early September, we had a full slate for ice bookings. Since the provincial government and the local health units have released their vaccine mandates, we have seen ice times drop off significantly. So we do have some really big blocks of open available ice time currently that we have put back out to people who were looking for ice initially. But we're at a point in the season where a lot of the hockey teams have their schedules set up, so we're not able to capture a lot of that back. Now, that said, Ashley and I are kind of working together to get some public programming in there because we have the ice available and the building is staffed during that time. So it makes more sense for us to add in some programming from Southwest Middlesex to kind of fill the gap and just keep bodies in the building and on the ice.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I forgot about that. Okay, so obviously we'll move into the next update because it's so pertinent to so many things in the rec world at this point.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's been a really challenging time to run recreation, not only programs, but just facilities in general. I know in my 12 years of arena experience, it's never been more difficult to run a facility safe. And you know, I have many years of experience running large hockey tournaments with thousands of people in buildings, and this by far exceeds the challenges that are put in place. So I guess to talk a little bit about the COVID update. So currently we are operating under the provincial guidelines and then subbed by the London Middlesex Health Unit. There's kind of 4 different classifications for our arena, and then external facilities apply a little bit differently. So for our arena, fully vaccinated persons are welcome in the facility. We have some exemptions for coaches, players, volunteers, and officials. We have our group that are 12 and under who are unable to be vaccinated. And we have an exemption for ages 12 to 17 based on the definition of youth not being able to be met because of 18 years and older being an adult. What is the age group from 12 to 17? So those are some of the things that are in place right now for the arena. Now, with that being said, on October 31st at 12:01 a.m., there are some significant changes coming to the arenas and recreation facilities, whereas anybody 12 years of age or older must be fully vaccinated and provide proof of vaccination at the facility upon entry. That's the number one thing, step one, to get into the building. From there, we have a contact tracing and a, the word is escaping me. In the QR code, we have a, Christy, help me.
Active screening.
Active screening. So active screening is where you actually fill out a form and you fill it out every time. And our questions include, have you traveled outside of the country? Have you been in close contact with someone with a confirmed case of COVID-19? Has a healthcare professional told you that you need to be in isolation or quarantine? And then obviously the list of symptoms. So that's active screening opposed to passive screening, which is very similar to going to a retail store where it's posted just on a door saying, if you have these symptoms or you've traveled outside the country, please do not enter. Once we go through these 3 checkpoints, then we are able to move into our facilities and perform the activity that we're there for. We do have some limits to our dressing rooms right now, just with physical distancing and the amount of dressing rooms that we have. We have capacity limits in the arena, which we've just increased as of Saturday. We started at 100 people, and there was a logical reason for this. It's new to everybody. Everybody's really excited to get back into these facilities and participating. It was important to me that we as a group, we as a community, we as the users of the facility, that we return to play and it's safe and it's organized, and that we learn to walk before we start to run. Now, we had 3 weeks where we had great success with that. So as of Saturday, we took our capacity limits for the arena from 100 up to 350. So we've opened up quite a bit there, and we have not yet met that capacity limit, but we hope that we get close to it. I mean, we have that facility there for a reason, for people to come out. What else is going on in COVID update for recreation? So our signage is ever evolving. It seems like we started with colors, and then we went into steps 1, 2, 3. We were in lockdowns, and now we're into the reopening roadmap. So our signs have been ever evolving and changing on a regular basis. All of our facilities are signed with basically the facility capacities on the door, and that's as per the provincial government and Middlesex London Health Unit. We have other pictographs up there to just make people aware that if you're not feeling well, do not enter the facility. We have wayfinding signage throughout our facilities to kind of direct traffic and promote social distancing. We have signs for our hand sanitizing stations. We have signs for a lot of things. We have signs that point to signs, it feels like sometimes, but it's all good stuff in the nature of what we're trying to do here. That would be my update for now, but I'm open to take any questions.
Go ahead, Kim.
Are you are only having to like check backs passes at the arena, or you're also having to do this at other facilities? If so, do you have security at those facilities, or are you asking program operators to do it?
Yeah, great question, Kim, and thanks for bringing that up. So there are 2 different classifications. So there's a staffed building and an unstaffed building. So at the arena, we're staffed, so therefore the municipality of Southwest Middlesex is responsible for making sure that we're checking proof of vaccination, providing active screening and contact tracing. Now at an unstaffed facility, so for example, the Eckford Community Center, the Masonic Lodge in Wardsville, the responsibility falls on the permit holder for the rental, or whoever's accessing the facility on that particular day. And that's how that works at an unstaffed facility.
And
it does fall onto the permit holder.
And we run, for example, Girl Guides, and it's my understanding that they do ask to see vaccination, or I think for us, we ask if they're vaccinated, and we take their word for it at this point. But I think for the age group we're working with, most of them don't qualify. But for Girl Guides, we are expected to check, and if we're inside. Some of our meetings have been outside, so that's accommodated any issue there, but that's an example. And I believe there was a church group who reached out and also has to do the same thing. And I think as a result, they're looking for a different venue. I don't know, does anyone else have any other questions or comments about COVID updates for the facilities and rec? If not, we have one last item, I believe the capital budget. Ready to hear about this?
Yes. So I have a list of items for, I guess, recommendation or proposal for the 2022 capital budget. I'm just going to go through the list here, and then I guess if anybody has questions or additions, then we're open to hearing them. But we will be looking for a new mower to help with the bulk of the grass that we're responsible for cutting. This mower would be a little bit more robust and a little bit more commercial or industrial. We are looking to install some new flagpoles that are a little bit easier for maintenance, so easier to get flags up and down. Currently, we have to go up 10, 12 feet on a ladder to disassemble the pulleys to get the flags down, to change them out. So just the whole working at heights thing. We're looking to have something that's a little bit more efficient to move things along. We'll be looking to purchase some land in Wardsville for a multi-purpose building. We'll be looking for backstop repairs for our baseball diamonds in Appin and Glencoe, very much needed. On the same topic of baseball diamonds, we'll be looking at getting a new pull behind diamond groomer, just to work the diamonds a little bit better and present a more presentable field of play. We'll be looking to replace the playground base at Elks Park beside the pool in Glencoe, moving this from a stone or a pea stone base to an engineered rubberized type of base. For all other playgrounds, we'd be looking at engineered wood fiber. For our 2 arboritas, we'll be looking to keep moving forward with trees and signage. We have an allotment for downtown improvements, so very much the same topic that we talked about earlier, where you're looking for an endorsement, Krista. There, like I said, there is a recommendation going forward for that. An emergency generator at the Glencoe Arena. Obviously, we have our really exciting renovation that's in the design and engineering phase right now. From some of the drawings and meetings that I sit in on, it's, there's a lot to look forward there and lots of work to do, but it's an exciting future for that building for sure. There's an allotment for the Main Street parquet and some of the needed work that needs to be done over there. Simpson Street Park. So this is a recommendation from the rec facility master plan. We'd be looking at the removal of the current standalone building that has washrooms and some storage, and then potentially looking into decommissioning the baseball diamonds and all of the fencing that's associated with it. We'll be looking for new playground equipment for Appin. The train station deck and stair project, we're looking to get that one done. Those are the recommendations, the bulk of them that will be going forward.
Any questions or comments? The other question I have for everyone, and some of this goes back to the original circulated agenda that talked about some discussion items. Will we be bringing these up afterwards, or did we want to talk about them now? So the points that were included in the Microsoft version that said Rec Master Plan, what is the highest priority out of that recommendation in terms of recreation? What would you like to see happen in Southwest Middlesex? What kind of feedback from the public have you heard? And then suggestions for improving communication methods with the public to increase the participation in our programs. And perhaps we should have addressed those on all of those points. But I think I can take the opportunity now because we still have a little bit of time left. So who would like to go first? Just unmute yourself.
You read that list again.
So the first one was, what is the highest priority from the Rec Master Plan as a recommendation? And so maybe that's a staff question. What is your highest priority out of the Rec Master Plan suggestions that we received? And are we seeing that, I suppose, in the budget items?
At this time, I don't know that I can really speak in any kind of detail about that. The highest priority from the large list. I mean, everything has its own priority, but I don't have much to add at this current time.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
I'm going to just back up a quick sec and ask a question. When you talked about decommissioning the basically the ballpark at the Simpson Street Park, what is the plan to put in that space? Like to leave it kind of gravel? Or?
No, so there's conversations that are happening right now with some of our community groups to take that space and actually put in a tennis facility and a pickleball facility with the existing tennis facility at the high school being converted over to a ball hockey court.
Repurpose the space.
And the biggest reason for repurposing the space is that we don't have any overflow from the 2 diamonds that are at the Project 2000 facility or from Appin. So we have a whole lot of ball diamonds, but not a whole lot of baseball being played. So to diversify and add a couple new flavors is the idea there.
Great. In terms of recreation, would you like to see happen in Southwest Middlesex? We've kind of talked about that one already. So we'll go on to the third one. And I think this is one for our committee more so than our staff. Suggestions for improving communication methods with the public to increase participation in programs. And I know for myself, I constantly share them on social media. I share them on my own pages. I tell my friends they have to come, they never do. And it's about, you know, getting the message out there. So is there anything, go ahead, Kim.
I would say on this, I have heard really positive comments that the increased presence on social media and the information about the new programming getting out there, people are knowing about it and are hearing about it better than they were in the past. So kudos to staff. I don't know who's all involved and associated with that, but I have heard good stuff. People are very happy because they're finding out what's going on.
That's great. Go ahead, Alan.
Thanks, Krista. Just the reminder to the committee that in terms of the public response and the top 3 passions that were mentioned were non-competitive sports. 78% wanted walking or hiking for leisure. That was followed by 63% wanted going to special events such as fairs and festivals. And then the third was 56% enjoying parks and open spaces. So just to remind you that the top 3 wishes of the public were kind of a non-competitive environment. And if you go to another schedule in the recreation report, the biggest concern was individuals, young families didn't seem to have enough time to commit to a timetabled event. So they like to come and go as they please when the opportunity permits. So very often when you have, a dozen or so various categories, it's good to focus on the top 3. And just as long as we don't lose perspective of that, Alex.
Perfect. Well, if there's nothing else anyone would like to address, we can talk
Just
about
one more quick thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred. Go ahead.
On the communication front, I'm going to go back up to the summer here. I did hear a number of complaints that people can't call the pool, which I mean, people ask because the pool phone number has been exactly the same for 35 years. So of course I know the pool phone number. Anyone who's lived here that long should know the pool phone number, but I'm not sure, I didn't give it out because people have called saying, well, it's a secret and they won't tell us uptown when I call the office, but I'm having trouble getting registered for swimming lessons because I want to ask questions. They can't answer the questions at the office. And then I had 2 other random individuals call complaining at the beginning of the season that they couldn't, kind of the opposite, they couldn't catch anybody at the pool because they wanted to register for swimming lessons and they hadn't been able to register for swimming lessons. And I say this, of course, have a daughter who works at the pool, but at 19 years old, shares absolutely nothing with her mother. So I have even asking her, saying, hey, people saying, they're not, well, we're there. There's no reason they can't get registered. Nobody should have to call us. They can do it uptown. So anyway, I'm just sharing because I have heard those comments and concerns from a few peeps.
I could speak a little bit to maybe the lack of availability of personnel or staff at the pool answering that phone. It surely comes down to the number of guards that we were able to recruit this year. And we were all hands on deck with a really successful programming season or schedule. We ran 260 some odd swimming lessons this summer, Ashley, is that right? And it took all on hands on deck from all of our staff. So obviously to answer the phone, you need to be by the phone. And then just the drop in because of the COVID protocols, we weren't allowed to have like a free flow through our front door. Everything was measured in that sense. And again, all of our staff would have been all hands on deck in facilitating the lessons or the aquafit or public swim. So for that, hopefully that adds a little bit of clarity.
This question I think is for Kim. Do you remember what Kelly wanted us to ask? Because I don't remember what she wanted us to ask or bring up for her.
Oh, the heaters at the pool. No, the
heaters at the arena.
People are either too hot or too cold. They're complaining because they can't. I don't know. I don't know if they can't find the guys at the arena to ask them to turn the heaters on. People are sitting in the seats and they're cold. They want the heaters on.
And I think it just comes down to asking them to, we talked about it briefly last night, but I remember just going up and finding Raymond and being like, hey, could you turn it on? And then he takes the broomstick and turns it on. So I think it's...
And it comes to people. There's only so many, like Alex was just saying, there's only so many people at the pool. Like they definitely worked a lot less hours this summer. Like they were just not there as much. So wasn't as many. So you can't answer the phone because when you are there, you were lifeguarding, you were teaching, you were working. Same as it is at the arena. These people are working when they're at the arena. So they're not at the availability of every person sitting in the stands' leisure to be able to run and turn the heater on for them.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll just have to remember, maybe speak to the skating and the hockey clubs to remind them to ask when they first get there. So, and not that it makes a difference. We still have the coldest arena ever, where anywhere, ever, always. It's just
speak a little bit on heaters, if you guys would like.
Sure.
Just due to the design of our floor at our arena, we have a ring at our perimeter that's about 4 to 6 inches that is uncooled. And this is a result of the new board installation project that happened 8-10 years ago. So in the shoulder season, so in the fall and when we get into the spring and we get warmer ambient temperatures outside, we have to run our system a little bit colder in order to freeze up the ice right to the boards. So heaters are going to be a sensitive topic, and it'll be based on our ability to maintain cooling in that facility. And I hope to not have this problem next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's good for us to know that we need to maybe like limit the heaters as a result of this situation. Because I remember being a kid and there was lots of heaters on all the time and they just left them on. And I feel like my dad would yell at me and be like, turn the lights off. But anyways, so hopefully with the new upgrades, this won't be an issue. We'll have our boards and our ice match up properly, and we won't have to worry about the cooling system underneath matching up, and we'll be able to have as much glorious heat. But that's a great response so that we can take that back to the community and say, bundle up for the next year because this is our life, and wear the oven mitts, the mittens and the hats, not the oven mitts. Yes, I have had dinner too. Okay, so if nobody else has any comments or questions to bring up, I think that we can talk about our future meetings. There's nothing under new business. There's nothing, unless anyone would like to make an announcement. Nope. So future meetings we have here for December 6th. I sent that quickly to Kelly. I don't think there's anything conflicting on my calendar. However, we haven't often had a December meeting. I feel like we would have a January meeting, but I'm not overly fussy and would love to hear from staff's perspective on this. And Kim, if it conflicts with her schedule. As long as I know about it, usually I can schedule it. Staff, Alex, Ashley, Christy, is there any reason to have it in December or to have it after the budget has been approved?
It doesn't make a difference to me. I mean, I might have a less of an update if we go a little bit like we don't go as far in between, and that way it'd be a little easier to share what's going on. But I'm happy either way. I think that once budget's approved, we might be able to have some meaningful conversations about moving forward.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is if we waited until budget's approved and kind of pushed it off till January. I mean, maybe budget won't be approved in January, but we can hope that it is, because we're starting the budget conversations this week. That I think we'll have more to say. So with that, I just sent that email to Kelly. Dang it. It's too fast.
I'm a proponent for a January meeting. I think we can get by.
Perfect. So let me look at the month, and I scroll up. And that's, oh, but let's do it sooner because I have to go to a wedding and I don't really want to go. Does anyone have a conflict with the 10th of January? Cool, I'm putting it in my calendar and no change backs. It's happening. Got to change the color so I know it's a council thing. Perfect, I'll send that off to Kelly and tell her to ignore the email I just sent 30 seconds ago. And if that's good, if that works for everyone at 5 p.m. on a Monday, if there's nothing else, I will adjourn the meeting.
Good. Bye-bye.